My child, I have something wonderful to tell you. The storehouses of heaven have been opened over your life. Not partially, not gradually, completely. Right now, as you hear these words, there is a transfer taking place in the spiritual realm that will manifest in the physical world you can see and touch. Resources that have been held in reserve, locked away in heavenly vaults with your name inscribed upon them, are being released. This is not about working harder or finding better strategies. This is about supernatural provision that defies every economic principle you have ever learned. I am the God who creates something from nothing, who multiplies what seems insufficient into abundance that overflows, who opens doors of opportunity where there were only walls of limitation. You have been living in a season of scarcity for too long. I have watched you calculate every expense, count every dollar, worry about every bill. I have seen you lie awake at night, running numbers through your mind, trying to figure out how to make what you have stretched just a little bit further. I have heard every prayer you whispered in desperation when the bank account was empty and the needs were overwhelming. I have collected every tear that fell when you had to say no to something your heart wanted to say yes to, when you had to deny yourself or your loved ones because the resources simply were not there. I have been present in every moment of financial stress, every conversation about money that ended in frustration or fear, every time you opened a bill with trembling hands, wondering how you would possibly pay it. But I want you to understand something that will shift your entire perspective. Your season of lack was never about my inability to provide. It was never because I had run out of resources or forgotten about your needs. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. The gold and silver are mine. Every resource on this planet and beyond belongs to me. The wealth of nations is under my command. I spoke universes into existence with words. Do you think I lack the ability to meet your financial needs? Do you imagine that I am somehow limited by the economy of your country, by the job market in your city, by the circumstances that surround you? I am the creator of all things, the one who holds all power, and there is no shortage in my kingdom. The season of scarcity you have been walking through was a preparation season. I was teaching you things that you could only learn in the wilderness of not enough. I was showing you that I am faithful even when the provision seems delayed. I was developing character in you that cannot be formed in seasons of ease and abundance. I was testing the condition of your heart, revealing where you had placed your trust, exposing the areas where you were depending on your own strength instead of my supernatural supply. I was breaking off the worship of money, the fear of poverty, the anxiety that comes from believing you are responsible for providing for yourself apart from me. In the place of financial pressure, I was forging something precious in your spirit. I was teaching you to pray with desperation and sincerity. I was showing you how to trust when you cannot see the way forward. I was revealing my faithfulness in the small provisions, the unexpected checks, the bills that somehow got paid even when the math did not add up, the groceries that appeared, the help that came from unexpected sources. Every time I provided in the midst of your lack, I was building your faith. Every time I came through at the last moment, I was showing you that I am a God who sees, who cares, who intervenes on behalf of my children. But now the season is shifting. The preparation is complete. The lessons have been learned. The character has been formed. The faith has been tested and proven. And I am ready to release the abundance that I have been preparing for you. This is not just about meeting your needs. This is about overflow. This is about more than enough. This is about abundance that allows you to be generous, to give freely, to bless others the way I have blessed you. This is about provision so supernatural that when people ask you how it happened, you will have no explanation except God. I am about to open streams of income that you never anticipated. I am going to bring opportunities into your path that you did not seek out, that you did not apply for, that you did not even know existed. I am going to cause people to think of you for positions and contracts and projects that will bring financial increase. I am going to give you ideas and insights and strategies that will create wealth. I am going to multiply the work of your hands so that what used to produce little will suddenly produce much. I'm going to shift you from barely surviving to thriving, from lack to abundance, from not enough to more than enough. The resources that are coming to you are not going to come through the normal channels. Yes, I will bless the work of your hands. Yes, I will increase your income through the job or business you have. But I am also going to bring provision from directions you never expected. Money will come to you from sources you cannot predict. Debts will be canceled in ways that make no logical sense. Expenses will be covered by people who feel compelled to help you without you asking. Opportunities will present themselves that carry financial blessing attached to them. This is the nature of supernatural provision. It does not follow the rules of natural economics. It does not bow to the limitations of market conditions. It flows from the unlimited resources of heaven into your life according to my will and my timing. I need you to prepare your heart to receive what I am about to do. This is important. Many of my children pray for provision, but when it comes, they are not ready to receive it. They doubt whether they deserve it. They question whether it is really from me. They feel guilty for having abundance when others are still struggling. They sabotage the blessing because deep in their hearts they do not believe they are worthy of it. But I'm telling you right now that you need to settle this issue before the provision arrives. You do not deserve my blessing because of your perfect performance. You receive my blessing because you are my child, because I love you, because it brings me joy to provide for you abundantly. Your worthiness is not based on how hard you have worked, how much you have sacrificed, or how spiritually mature you have become. Your worthiness is based solely on the fact that you belong to me. You are my son, my daughter, my beloved child, and it is my nature to give good gifts to my children. When an earthly father has the resources to provide for his child, does he withhold them because the child has not earned them? No. He provides because he loves, because it is his joy to see his child blessed, because he has the ability to meet the need. How much more do I, your heavenly Father, desire to pour out blessing upon you? I want you to understand the spiritual principle of abundance that governs my kingdom. In the world's system, there is never enough. Resources are limited. Wealth is scarce. If one person gains, another must lose. The economy operates on principles of competition, scarcity, and fear. People hoard what they have because they are afraid there will not be enough. They fight for their share because they believe the supply is limited. They live in constant anxiety about losing what they have gained because the system is unstable and unpredictable. But my kingdom operates on completely different principles. In my kingdom, there is always more than enough. My resources are unlimited. My ability to provide is infinite. My supply never runs out. In my economy, when I bless one person, it does not diminish what is available for others. When I pour out provision on your life, it does not take away from anyone else. I am able to bless everyone who comes to me, everyone who trusts in me, everyone who looks to me as their source. There is no scarcity in heaven. There is no shortage in my storehouses. There is only abundance, overflow, more than enough. And this is the realm I am inviting you to live in. Not the realm of earthly economics with all of its limitations and fears, but the realm of heavenly abundance where provision flows freely and generously. This is not about denying the reality of your physical circumstances. This is about recognizing that there is a higher reality, a spiritual truth that supersedes what you can see with your natural eyes. In the natural, you may see lack. In the natural, the numbers may not add up. In the natural, there may be no logical way for your needs to be met. But in the supernatural, in the realm of the Spirit, there is unlimited provision available to you. When you learn to live in this reality, everything changes. You stop operating from a place of fear and start operating from a place of faith. You stop trying to figure everything out with your limited human understanding and start trusting in my unlimited wisdom and power. You stop striving in your own strength to make things happen and start resting in my ability to provide. You stop looking at your bank account as the source of your security and start looking to me. You stop worrying about where the provision will come from and start thanking me that it is already on its way. This shift in perspective is absolutely critical. You cannot receive supernatural provision while operating with a natural mindset. You cannot experience heavenly abundance while thinking according to earthly limitations. Your mind must be renewed. Your thinking must be transformed. You must begin to see yourself not as someone who is at the mercy of economic conditions, but as a child of the King who has access to the wealth of the kingdom. You must stop identifying as poor, as lacking, as barely getting by, and start identifying as blessed, as provided for, as abundantly supplied by a Father who owns everything. I know this is difficult for you. You have lived with the reality of not enough for so long that it has become part of your identity. You have been conditioned by years of struggle to expect lack, to prepare for disappointment, to brace yourself for financial stress. The scarcity mindset has become so ingrained in your thinking that it feels like truth. But it is not truth. It is a lie that the enemy has used to keep you trapped in a cycle of poverty and fear. It is a limitation that you have accepted as reality when it was never meant to be your portion. I am calling you out of that mindset right now. I am breaking the power of poverty thinking over your life. I am shattering the expectation of lack. I am demolishing the belief that you will always struggle financially, that you will never have enough, that abundance is for other people but not for you. Those lies are being exposed and destroyed in this moment. The truth is being established in your heart. And the truth is this: you are a child of the Most High God. You have access to unlimited resources. You are provided for by a Father who has no lack. You are entering a season of supernatural abundance. Now I want to speak to you about the financial struggles you have been through. I want you to know that I have seen every single one of them. I was there when you did not know how you would pay the rent. I was there when the car broke down and you had no money for repairs. I was there when you had to choose between paying bills and buying groceries. I was there when you maxed out credit cards trying to keep your head above water. I was there when you felt the shame of not being able to provide for your family the way you wanted to. I was there when you cried out to me in desperation, begging for help, wondering if I was listening, questioning if I cared. And I want you to know that I heard every single prayer. Not one of them fell on deaf ears. Not one of them was ignored. I was working behind the scenes in ways you could not see, making arrangements, positioning people, setting things in motion that would eventually bring the breakthrough you needed. Sometimes my provision came at the last possible moment, and you wondered why I waited so long. Sometimes I provided just enough, and you wondered why I did not give you more. Sometimes I said no to what you asked for because I had something better planned. But through it all, I was faithful. Through it all, I was present. Through it all, I was working on your behalf. There were times when you thought I had abandoned you. There were moments when the financial pressure was so intense that you wondered if I really cared about the practical details of your life. You wondered if I was only concerned with spiritual matters, if I had left you to figure out the earthly stuff on your own. But that was never true. I care about every aspect of your life. I am concerned with the bills you need to pay, the food you need to eat, the roof you need over your head. I am not a God who is distant and disconnected from the practical realities of human existence. I am Emmanuel, God with you, involved in every detail, present in every circumstance. And I want you to understand why some of those prayers seem to go unanswered. It was not because I did not care. It was not because I lacked the power to help. It was because I was protecting you from something, or preparing you for something, or positioning you for something greater than what you were asking for in that moment. Sometimes I say not yet because the timing is not right. Sometimes I say not that because I have something better. Sometimes I say not there because I am moving you to a different place. My delays are not denials. My silence is not absence. My seeming lack of response is often the deepest form of love, because I am protecting you from receiving something that would ultimately harm you or prevent you from receiving the greater thing I have planned. But now we are in a different season. The waiting is over. The preparation is complete. The time has come for the release of abundance. I am about to do something in your financial life that will shock you. I am about to bring provision that will exceed your expectations. I am about to open doors that will bring increase beyond what you thought possible. And when it happens, you will know without a doubt that it was me. You will have no explanation for it except divine intervention. You will not be able to take credit for it or claim that you made it happen through your own efforts. It will be so clearly supernatural that all you will be able to do is stand in awe and give me glory. The abundance that is coming is not just for your benefit, it is also for my purposes. I am going to bless you so that you can be a blessing. I am going to prosper you so that you can advance my kingdom. I am going to give you resources so that you can support the work I am doing in the earth. You are not going to receive this provision just to spend it on yourself, to hoard it for your own comfort, to use it only for your personal enjoyment. You are going to be a conduit of blessing, a channel through which my provision flows to others. This is a critical part of walking in abundance. Generosity must flow from your life. When I bless you, you must bless others. When I provide for you, you must provide for those in need. When I open the windows of heaven over your life, you must open your hands to give. This is not about obligation or duty. This is about partnering with me in what I am doing in the earth. This is about being part of the solution to poverty and lack in your community, in your family, in your circle of influence. This is about reflecting my generous nature to a world that desperately needs to see it. And here is a spiritual principle that you must understand. Generosity creates a cycle of blessing. When you give freely from what I have given you, you create room for more to flow into your life. When you hold tightly to what you have, afraid to let it go, you actually block the flow of abundance. Your open hand is the hand that receives. Your generous heart is the heart that I can trust with wealth. Your willingness to give is the proof that money does not own you, that you are not serving mammon, that you recognize me as the true source of all you have. I am going to test your heart in this area. As the provision begins to flow, I am going to watch what you do with it. Will you immediately spend it all on yourself? Will you hoard it out of fear that it might not come again? Will you use it to indulge every desire without any thought of what I might want you to do with it? Or will you steward it wisely, use it generously, and honor me with the first fruits of what I give you? Your response to the blessing will determine how much more I can trust you with. This is not about earning my favor through good behavior. My love for you is not based on how well you manage money, but there is a principle of stewardship that governs how I release resources into people's lives. I give more to those who handle well what they already have. I entrust greater things to those who are faithful with smaller things. I pour out abundance on those who use what I give them for kingdom purposes, not just selfish gain. This is not legalism. This is wisdom. This is me protecting you from the destruction that comes when people are not ready to handle the wealth I want to give them. I have seen too many of my children destroyed by abundance they were not prepared to receive. I have watched people gain wealth and lose their souls. I have seen provision become a curse instead of a blessing because the heart was not right, because the priorities were misplaced, because they forgot where the provision came from and who they were accountable to. I will not allow that to happen to you. I love you too much to give you something that would ultimately harm you. So as I release abundance into your life, I am also working in your heart, making sure you are ready to handle it, ensuring that it becomes a tool for kingdom advancement and not a trap that leads to destruction. You need to know that supernatural provision often comes with opposition. The enemy does not want you walking in abundance. He wants you trapped in poverty, limited by lack, so focused on survival that you have no time or energy to advance the kingdom. When I begin to release resources into your life, he is going to try to stop it. He is going to bring unexpected expenses, sudden crises, financial attacks designed to drain away the provision before you can enjoy it or use it for kingdom purposes. He is going to plant thoughts of doubt in your mind, making you question whether the blessing is real, whether it will last, whether you deserve it. But I am telling you in advance, so that you will be prepared. When the opposition comes, you will recognize it for what it is, a desperate attempt by the enemy to stop what I am doing in your life. You will not be shaken by it. You will not fall into fear. You will not allow the attack to steal your peace or your faith. Instead, you will stand firm in the truth of what I have spoken. You will resist the enemy, and he will flee from you. You will refuse to come into agreement with thoughts of lack and scarcity. You will declare that I am your provider, that my supply never runs out, that the abundance I have released over your life cannot be stopped by any force of darkness. I am also going to teach you about the difference between provision and prosperity. Provision is when I meet your needs. Prosperity is when I give you more than enough so that you can meet the needs of others. Both are part of my plan for your life. I will always provide what you need, but I also want to prosper you so that you can be generous, so that you can support the work of ministry, so that you can help those who are struggling the way you have struggled. Prosperity without purpose leads to pride and self-indulgence, but prosperity with kingdom purpose becomes a powerful force for good in the earth. So as I release abundance into your life, I am also giving you assignments. There are people I am going to bring across your path who need help. There are ministries I am going to highlight to you that need support. There are projects I am going to put on your heart that require funding. When you see these opportunities, Do not hesitate. Do not overthink it. Do not let fear hold you back. Give freely, generously, joyfully. Trust that I will replenish what you give and multiply it back to you. This is how you walk in the blessing. This is how you steward abundance. This is how you partner with me in what I am doing. I want to speak to those of you who have been generous even in your lack. You have given when you did not have much to give. You have tithed even when it was difficult. You have helped others even when you needed help yourself. You have prioritized kingdom work even when your own finances were tight. I have seen every single act of generosity. I have recorded every gift given in faith. I have noticed every time you chose to trust me instead of holding on to what little you had. And I am about to reward your faithfulness in ways that will astound you. The multiplication that is coming to you is directly connected to the generosity you have shown. You planted seeds in difficult soil during a hard season, and now the harvest is coming. What you sowed in tears you are about to reap in joy. The sacrifice you made is about to be returned to you multiplied many times over. This is not about earning my blessing through works. This is about the spiritual law of sowing and reaping that I established in the earth. You sowed generously, and now you will reap generously. You gave when it cost you something, and now I am going to give to you in ways that will overwhelm you with gratitude. There is a specific promise I want to remind you of right now. I told you through my word that I would open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing so great that you would not have room enough to contain it. This is not metaphorical language. This is a literal promise about supernatural abundance. When I open the windows of heaven over your life, provision flows from the spiritual realm into the natural world in ways that cannot be explained by natural means. Money comes from unexpected sources. Opportunities appear out of nowhere. Needs are met before you even ask. This is what happens when heaven invades earth in the area of your finances, and I am opening those windows right now. Not because you have perfectly followed every spiritual principle, not because you have earned it through flawless obedience, but because I am a good father who delights in blessing my children. Because this is my nature. Because I am the God of abundance, not scarcity. Because it brings me joy to provide for you lavishly, generously, abundantly. Receive it. Do not question it. Do not doubt it. Do not feel guilty about it. Just open your heart and your hands and receive what I am pouring out. I also want to address those of you who have made financial mistakes in the past. You have mismanaged money. You have made poor decisions. You have gotten into debt through foolish choices. You have wasted resources on things that did not matter. And now you carry shame about it. You feel disqualified from receiving my blessing because of your past failures. You think that because you made mistakes with what you had, I cannot trust you with more. But I am here to tell you that my grace covers your financial failures just as it covers every other area of your life. Your past mistakes do not disqualify you from future blessing. Your previous poor stewardship does not prevent me from releasing abundance to you now. What matters is your heart right now. What matters is your willingness to learn and grow. What matters is your commitment to honor me with the resources I am about to give you. If your heart is right in this moment, if you are willing to be taught, if you are ready to steward well what I am releasing, then I am ready to trust you with abundance. I am not looking for perfect people to bless. I am looking for willing hearts. I am not searching for those who have never made mistakes. I am searching for those who have learned from their mistakes and are ready to move forward in wisdom. Your financial history does not determine your financial future. I am the God who makes all things new. I am the God who restores what was lost. I am the God who redeems failures and turns them into testimonies. So let go of the shame. Release the guilt. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. And step into the new season I am opening for you with confidence and expectation. The provision that is coming will manifest in multiple ways. Some of it will be obvious and immediate. You will see an increase in income. You will receive unexpected money. You will get a raise or a bonus, or a new job with better pay. These are the visible manifestations that you will be able to point to and say, clearly God did this. But some of the provision will be more subtle. It will come in the form of expenses that do not happen. Things that should have broken down but did not. Bills that should have been higher but were not. Needs that were met through the generosity of others without you asking. Both forms of provision are equally supernatural. Both are evidence of my hand at work in your finances. Do not discount the subtle provisions. Do not overlook the crises that were averted, the disasters that did not happen, the expenses that mysteriously went down instead of up. These are also signs of my favor on your life. These are also evidence that I am actively involved in your financial situation. Learn to recognize my provision in all its forms, and you will see that I have been blessing you in more ways than you realized. I want you to start preparing practically for the abundance that is coming. This is an act of faith. Get your finances in order. Create a plan for how you will steward the increase. Decide in advance what percentage you will give, what percentage you will save, what percentage you will use to pay off debt, what percentage you will live on. Do not wait until the money shows up to think about these things. Prepare your heart and your systems now so that when the provision comes, you are ready to handle it wisely. This preparation is also a form of spiritual warfare. When you begin to act as if the blessing is already on its way, you are declaring your faith. You are announcing to the spiritual realm that you believe what I have spoken. You are taking a stand against the lies of the enemy that say nothing is going to change, that you will always struggle, that abundance is not for you. Your practical preparations become prophetic declarations that the season is shifting, that provision is coming, that my word over your life will be fulfilled. Some of you need to hear this. The poverty you have experienced is not a virtue. It is not more spiritual to be broke. It is not holier to struggle financially. I never called you to a life of perpetual lack. I never asked you to glorify poverty as if it were a sign of righteousness. Some religious teaching has twisted the truth and made people believe that God wants them poor, that wealth is evil, that abundance is a sign of spiritual compromise. But that is not what my word teaches. That is not my heart for you. Yes, I warned about the love of money. Yes, I said it is difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom. But I was not condemning wealth itself. I was addressing the condition of the heart. I was warning against making money an idol, against trusting in riches instead of in me, against allowing wealth to become your God. But when your heart is right, when your trust is in me, when you recognize that I am the source of all you have, then wealth in your hands becomes a tool for kingdom advancement. It becomes a resource that I can use to accomplish my purposes in the earth. So do not feel guilty about the abundance I am releasing to you. Do not apologize for being blessed. Do not shrink back from the prosperity I want to bring into your life. Receive it with gratitude. Steward it with wisdom. Use it with generosity. And watch what I will do through you as you partner with me in kingdom work. The wealth I am giving you is not for you to hoard or hide. It is for you to deploy strategically for maximum kingdom impact. I am also going to give you supernatural wisdom in financial matters. You are going to make decisions that seem risky by natural standards, but turn out to be exactly right. You are going to have insights about investments, about business moves, about financial strategies that do not come from your own knowledge or experience. This is the gift of supernatural wisdom at work in the practical area of your finances. Trust these insights when they come. Do not dismiss them as random thoughts. When I drop something into your spirit about a financial decision, pay attention, write it down, pray about it. And if it continues to bear witness in your heart, act on it. This does not mean you should be foolish or reckless. Supernatural wisdom never contradicts natural wisdom. It enhances it. It adds a spiritual dimension to sound financial principles. So continue to be wise, continue to be prudent, continue to seek counsel, but also be open to the promptings of my spirit, to the insights that I drop into your heart, to the divine strategies that I want to give you for managing and multiplying the resources I am releasing into your life. There is a shift happening in the heavenly realms right now concerning your finances. Angelic forces are being deployed to bring the provision to you. Doors are being opened that were previously locked. Obstacles are being removed that were blocking the flow. People are being positioned who will become conduits of blessing in your life. Circumstances are being arranged that will create opportunities for increase. This is all happening in the spiritual realm right now, and it will soon manifest in the natural world, where you can see it and experience it. Your part is to remain in faith. Do not allow doubt to creep in. Do not let any delay cause you to question whether this word is true. Do not look at your current circumstances and conclude that nothing is changing. In the spiritual realm, everything has already shifted. The provision has already been released. The abundance is already on its way. What you are waiting for is the manifestation in the natural of what has already been accomplished in the spiritual. And that manifestation is coming sooner than you think. I want to remind you of times in the past when I provided for you miraculously. Remember when the money came at the last moment and you did not know where it came from? Remember when someone paid a bill for you unexpectedly? Remember when you got the job you were not even qualified for on paper? Remember when the expense you were dreading turned out to be far less than you anticipated? Those were not coincidences. Those were not just lucky breaks. Those were demonstrations of my faithfulness, previews of how I operate, glimpses of the supernatural provision that I want to make normal in your life. I showed you those things in the past to build your faith for what is coming now. I gave you tastes of supernatural provision so that when the abundance comes, you will recognize it as being from me. You will remember how I provided before, and you will know that I am providing again. Your history with me becomes the foundation for your faith in this moment. Look back and remember. Recall my faithfulness. Rehearse the testimonies of provision. Let them strengthen your confidence that I am about to do it again, only this time on a much larger scale. Now, I want to speak about the timing of this release. You may be wondering why it is happening in this season. Why not earlier when you desperately needed it? Why not years ago before you went through all that struggle? Why now? The answer is that everything I do is connected to my perfect timing. There are seasons in the kingdom, divine appointments on heaven's calendar that determine when things are released. This is your season. This is your appointed time. The abundance that is coming could not have come before because you were not ready for it, because circumstances were not aligned, because the preparations were not complete. But now everything is in place. The character has been formed. The lessons have been learned. The faith has been tested. The systems are ready. The people are positioned. The opportunities are aligned. This is the fullness of time for the release of abundance in your life. Do not look back with regret about the struggles of the past. Look forward with expectation about the blessings of the future. The season is shifting right now, and you are entering the time of overflow. I am the God who owns everything. Never forget that. The earth is mine and the fullness thereof. Every animal of the forest is mine, the cattle on 1,000 hills. The silver is mine, the gold is mine. I do not need to consult with economic advisors to figure out how to meet your needs. I do not need to wait for the stock market to improve or the economy to turn around. I do not need permission from any earthly authority to release resources into your life. I am God. I own it all. And I have decided that it is time for you to walk in the abundance that I always intended for my children. Let me speak to you about the nature of my resources. When earthly resources run low, scarcity creates panic. When supplies diminish, prices increase. When economies fail, people lose everything. But my resources are not subject to earthly fluctuations. My wealth is not dependent on human systems. My ability to provide is not limited by economic downturns or market crashes or recessions or inflation. I exist outside of time and space, operating in a realm where abundance is the only reality, where scarcity does not exist, where lack is not even a concept. This is the realm from which your provision is coming. Not from the limited resources of earth, but from the unlimited resources of heaven. Not from what can be seen and measured and calculated by human means, but from what exists in the spiritual dimension where my word creates reality, where my will determines outcomes, where my power brings things into existence that did not exist before. When I decide to release provision into your life, I am not taking it from someone else's portion. I am not redistributing limited resources. I am creating new streams of blessing that flow directly from the throne room of heaven into your natural circumstances. This is why your provision can come from unexpected sources. This is why money can show up in ways that make no logical sense. This is why opportunities can appear out of nowhere. This is why doors can open that you never knocked on. Because I am not limited to working through the channels you can see. I am not restricted to the pathways you understand. I can create new routes of blessing. I can establish new connections. I can orchestrate circumstances in ways that are completely beyond your ability to predict or manufacture. And this is what I am doing right now. Behind the scenes, in the spiritual realm, I am moving pieces into place. I am speaking to hearts. I am opening doors. I am creating opportunities. I am positioning you for encounters that will change your financial reality. You cannot see it yet with your natural eyes, but in the spirit realm, the movement has already begun. The resources are already flowing. The provision is already on its way. It is only a matter of time before what is happening in the spiritual dimension breaks through into your physical reality. I want you to understand something about faith in the area of finances. Faith is not pretending that you have money when you do not. Faith is not denying the reality of your current lack. Faith is not positive thinking or wishful hoping or empty declarations. Real faith is the confident assurance that what I have promised, I will perform. Real faith is the settled conviction that my word is more reliable than your circumstances. Real faith is the deep trust that my character guarantees my commitments, that my love for you ensures my provision, that my power makes possible what seems impossible. When you walk in this kind of faith, you are not stressed about money even when the account is low. You are not panicked about bills even when you cannot see how they will be paid. You are not anxious about the future even when the present looks uncertain. Because your faith is not in your ability to earn or save or manage. Your faith is in my ability to provide, to multiply, to open doors, to create opportunities, to release resources from heaven into your life. And that faith gives you a peace that makes no sense to people who are trusting in natural means alone. This peace is evidence of your trust. This rest is proof of your faith. When people see you calm in circumstances that would cause others to panic, they are seeing the fruit of supernatural confidence in a supernatural God. They are witnessing what happens when someone truly believes that the Creator of the universe is their provider. They are observing the difference between those who trust in their own efforts and those who trust in my promises. And your peace becomes a testimony more powerful than words, a demonstration of what it looks like to live in heavenly abundance, even while walking through earthly circumstances. But let me also speak to the practical side of walking in provision. Faith does not eliminate responsibility. Trust in my supernatural supply does not mean you stop being wise with what you have. Confidence in my ability to provide does not give you permission to be foolish with finances. I am calling you to walk in a beautiful balance between supernatural faith and natural wisdom, between trusting me for provision and stewarding well what I give you. This means you pay your bills on time when you have the resources. This means you create a budget and manage your money intentionally. This means you save when possible and avoid unnecessary debt. This means you think before you spend and pray before you make large financial decisions. This means you seek counsel from wise people and educate yourself about financial principles. I will give you supernatural provision, but I also expect you to use natural wisdom in managing what I provide. Some people have misunderstood my promises of provision and become irresponsible with money. They spend recklessly, thinking I will always bail them out. They go into debt carelessly, assuming I will supernaturally cancel it. They give away what they need for basic expenses, believing that I am testing their faith. But that is not wisdom. That is presumption. And presumption puts me in a position where I must rescue you from consequences of your own foolishness rather than blessing you in your faithful stewardship. I want to bless you, not constantly rescue you. I want to release abundance into your life, not continually clean up financial messes created by poor choices. So I am calling you to a mature relationship with money, one that combines supernatural faith with natural wisdom, one that trusts me completely while also taking personal responsibility seriously. This is the kind of stewardship that positions you to receive greater blessing, because it proves that you can be trusted with much when you handle well the little you have been given. Now let me speak to you about the multiplication that is coming. I am not just going to give you a little more money so that you can get by a little more comfortably. I am not just going to increase your income by a small percentage so that you can breathe a little easier. I am talking about multiplication. I am talking about exponential increase. I am talking about provision that is so abundant, so excessive, so beyond your normal experience that you will have no explanation for it, except supernatural intervention. This is what happened when I multiplied the loaves and fish. The disciples had 5 loaves and 2 fish. It was not enough to feed the multitude, but I took what seemed insufficient and multiplied it into more than enough. Not just enough to feed everyone, but enough to have 12 baskets left over. That is the nature of my multiplication. I do not just meet the need. I provide abundance. I do not just give you exactly what you require. I give you more than you need so that you have overflow. And this is what I am about to do in your financial life. I am going to take what seems insufficient and multiply it. I am going to take what looks too small and make it more than enough. I am going to work with what you have, no matter how little it seems, and create abundance from it. Your part is to bring me what you have. Your part is to put into my hands the resources you do possess, even if they seem inadequate. Your part is to trust me with the little, believing that I can make it much. This might mean you start tithing from the small income you have, trusting me to multiply what remains. This might mean you sow a seed even when it feels like you cannot afford to, believing that I will bring a harvest. This might mean you give when someone has a need, even though your own resources are limited, confident that I will replenish what you give. These acts of faith position you for multiplication. These demonstrations of trust create an opening for my supernatural provision to flow. I am looking for people who will trust me enough to put their resources into my hands. I am searching for hearts that believe I can do more with their little than they could ever do with their much. I am waiting for those who will step out in faith, who will give when it does not make sense, who will sow when the ground looks hard, who will trust when circumstances say, hold on tight. These are the ones I can multiply for. These are the ones I can prosper. These are the ones I can trust with abundance, because they have already proven they trust me. Let me also speak to you about the specific breakthroughs that are coming. I have heard your prayers about specific financial needs. I know about the debt that has been weighing on you. I am aware of the major expense you have been worried about. I see the financial goal you have been working toward. I know the dream that requires resources you do not currently have. And I want you to know that I am answering those specific prayers, addressing those specific needs, providing for those specific situations. The debt that has felt like a weight around your neck is going to be dealt with. I am going to provide in ways that allow you to pay it down faster than you thought possible. I am going to bring unexpected income that you can put toward what you owe. I am going to open doors that create margin in your budget. I am going to give you strategies and insights that accelerate your path to financial freedom. Some of you are going to see debts completely canceled in ways that defy explanation. Others are going to experience such an increase in income that you can pay off in a season what you thought would take years to eliminate. The major expense you have been worried about is not going to devastate your finances the way you feared. I am going to provide for it. The money will come. The resources will be there. You will look back and marvel at how it all came together, how the provision showed up exactly when you needed it, how I orchestrated circumstances to meet that need in ways you never could have arranged. Your part is to stop worrying about it and start trusting that I have it covered. The financial goal you have been working toward is going to be reached. That amount you have been trying to save is going to accumulate faster than your current income would suggest is possible. That target you set is going to be hit. That milestone you have been moving toward is going to be achieved. Because I am adding my supernatural provision to your natural efforts. And when heaven and earth cooperate, things happen that cannot be explained by natural means alone. The dream that requires resources is not dead. The vision that needs funding is not canceled. The calling that demands financial investment is still valid, and I am going to provide what is needed to bring it to pass. Your part is to keep the vision alive, to continue to prepare, to move forward in faith even before you see the provision. Because when you act in faith on what I have spoken, you create a channel through which my provision can flow. When you move forward on the promise before the resources appear, you demonstrate the kind of trust that releases my supernatural supply. I also want to address the fear that some of you carry about money. You are afraid of not having enough. You are afraid of losing what you have. You are afraid of unexpected expenses. You are afraid of economic collapse. You are afraid of making wrong financial decisions. Fear has become a constant companion in the area of your finances, and it is stealing your peace, disrupting your sleep, and blocking your ability to receive what I want to give you. But I did not give you a spirit of fear. Fear is not from me. Fear is the enemy's tool to keep you in bondage, to prevent you from walking in the freedom and abundance I have provided. Fear makes you hoard instead of give. Fear makes you worry instead of trust. Fear makes you focus on lack instead of abundance. Fear keeps you trapped in a poverty mindset, even when provision is available. And I am breaking the power of fear over your finances right now. I am speaking peace to your mind. I am settling your anxious thoughts. I am calming the storm of financial worry that has been raging in your soul. You do not need to be afraid about money. You do not need to be anxious about provision. You do not need to be worried about the future. Because I am your provider. I am your source. I am your supply. And I will never fail you. I will never leave you without what you need. I will never allow you to go without if you are walking in obedience to me and trusting in my promises. So, right now, in this moment, I am calling you to release the fear. Let it go. Give it to me. Stop carrying the burden of financial anxiety. Stop allowing worry about money to dominate your thoughts. Stop lying awake at night running calculations and worst-case scenarios. Instead, replace that fear with faith. Replace that worry with worship. Replace that anxiety with assurance that I am in control, that I am aware of your needs, that I am already working on your behalf. When fear tries to creep back in, and it will, you must immediately counter it with truth. Speak my promises out loud. Declare that I am your provider. Remind yourself of times when I came through for you in the past. Recall the testimonies of my faithfulness. Rehearse the scriptures that speak of my provision. This is how you fight fear in the financial realm. Not by pretending everything is fine when it is not, but by anchoring yourself in the truth of who I am and what I have promised, even when circumstances seem to contradict that truth. I want to speak now about the generational impact of this financial breakthrough. What I am doing in your life is not just for you. It is for your children and your children's children. I am breaking generational cycles of poverty. I am shattering family patterns of lack. I am destroying curses that have kept your family line in financial bondage. And I am establishing a new legacy of abundance that will flow through your descendants. You may have come from a family where poverty was normal. You may have been raised in an environment where financial struggle was just the way life was. You may have learned from your parents and grandparents to expect lack, to prepare for not enough, to brace yourself for financial hardship. But that cycle stops with you. That pattern ends now. That curse is broken. Because what I am releasing into your life is not just provision for your current needs. It is the establishment of a new normal, a new baseline, a new foundation for how your family operates in the area of finances. Your children are going to grow up seeing provision instead of lack. They are going to witness my faithfulness instead of experiencing constant worry about money. They are going to learn to trust me as their provider because they will have watched you walk in supernatural provision. They are going to develop a mindset of abundance instead of scarcity because that is what they will have observed in your life. And that shift in perspective, that change in expectation, that transformation in their relationship with money will impact every area of their lives. This is part of the reason why I am doing what I am doing. Yes, I want to bless you. Yes, I want to meet your needs. Yes, I want to prosper you. But I also want to establish something in your family line that will affect generations to come. I want to create a legacy of faith in my provision. I want to demonstrate through your life that when people trust me, I come through. I want to prove to your descendants that I am faithful, that my promises are reliable, that walking with me leads to blessing. So when the provision comes, when the abundance flows, when the multiplication happens, remember that it is bigger than you. Remember that it is not just about your comfort, or your ease, or your relief from financial stress. It is about establishing a testimony that will echo through your family line. It is about creating a foundation that future generations can build upon. It is about breaking chains that have held your family in poverty, so that your children and grandchildren can walk in freedom. And let me speak now about the timing of the manifestation. I know you are eager to see the provision appear. I know you are ready for the abundance to become visible. I know you want the breakthrough to happen right now. And I understand that desire. But I need you to trust my timing even as you trust my promise. The provision